Hello and welcome to Sunflower Philosophy Tarot. My name is Juliana, and today's Timeless Pick a Card reading is about what is falling into place for you this fall or whenever you watch it, because it is timeless, but it is fall at the time I'm recording this, so that's kind of why I'm doing a little play on words here. And this is just about whatever is working out for you right now, whether you see it or not, and what's really coming together, and what that is and how you can help it along if there's anything you need to know or anything you need to do to help this continue falling into place. That's really just what it's going to be about. I thought that would be kind of fun, so that's what I'm going to do. And before I get into it, I'd like to mention that if you like what you see here and you're interested in a personal reading, I do offer those on sunflowerphilosophy.com. The link is in the description. And I work with my mom, and we are both certified consulting hypnotists as well as tarot readers, and my mom does human design. So if you're interested in any of our other services, you can also see those on our website. And now let's move into the brief centering exercise. For those of you who might be new here, first of all, welcome. And for those of you who are not new here, welcome back. But for anyone who doesn't know, I do a little brief centering meditation sort of thing to kick off these readings, so that if you really want to take a moment to get in touch with yourself and feel like you're really connecting with your intuition before you go into the group selection and into your group, then you can join me in that, and we will just get centered and we'll get really connected so that you feel really confident when you decide which group you're choosing and you hear your messages. So if that sounds good to you, let's get into it. So anyone who is joining me for that, first of all, I ask that you're not driving or doing anything that requires your focus and attention so that you can really get into this and focus on what I'm saying. If not, you can skip this for now. And of course, if you want to skip this altogether, the timestamps are in the description or pinned comment, so you can just go to those and move along. But let's get started for those of you who are ready. So if you want to take a moment, you can pause the video and get comfortable. Just make sure that you're sitting in a comfortable seat or lying down or whatever you want to do that makes you feel comfortable. And now that you are comfortable, presumably, you may close your eyes if you feel called to, and turn your attention to your breathing. Just take a deep breath in, and as you breathe in, imagine that you're breathing in deep relaxation. You may pause for a moment at the top of the breath, and then as you exhale, imagine that any tension or stress, anything that you're ready to let go of, is just releasing through your breath. And you can proceed to continue to take a few deep breaths like this, just imagining that relaxation flowing in and imagining anything that you would like to release, any tension just completely releasing out, just fully relaxing even deeper as you exhale. And all you need to do is just allow that to happen for a few breaths, and when you feel ready, you can allow your breathing to return to normal and just listen to the sound of my voice and allow it to relax you even deeper as you set the intention that this brief meditation will connect you deeply with your intuition and with the messages that you are meant to hear right now on this day at this time as you are engaging with this reading. And as you deeply relax and as you settle into this moment that is just for you, this beautiful moment to connect with yourself, you realize that you easily connect with your intuition and you naturally know which messages are for you. And you can effortlessly gravitate towards the group that is meant for you and the messages that are truly aligned with you at this time. You trust yourself deeply, and you know that the ability to discern that which is meant for you and that which is not is always a part of you, and you can always trust your intuition. You are now aligning with the messages that will let you know what it is in your life that is really falling into place for you right now. And you will align with these messages only if they are in your highest good, so that you may know any information that will only help these beautiful, wonderful things to continue to fall into place for you in the most magical, most aligned way possible for you. You can trust that you will know which messages are for you, and those that are not for you will simply skate right by, and you'll allow them to be for someone else, as you are so deeply connected with yourself, with your true, authentic needs in each and every moment. And you recognize that this deep self-trust, that your intuition is always available to you in each and every moment of your life. You can trust yourself to make decisions. You can trust your intuition, and you know that no matter what, everything is working out for you for your best. And you can relax in this moment and just recognize that who you are and where you are right now is exactly who you're meant to be and where you're meant to be. And you can feel safe and calm and present in this notion, and know that you are such a wonderful, beautiful soul. And I am so thankful for you, and I know that there are so many people in your life who are also thankful for you. So you can take that feeling of gratitude, and you can also pay it forward and imagine who and what you are most grateful for in this moment in time, and allow that feeling of gratitude to further deepen your connection with your intuition and with the messages that will align you with your highest good at each and every moment. Thank you so much for joining me for this brief centering exercise. I hope you do feel more centered, and if you would like to continue with this meditation for a bit longer, feel free to pause the video and continue when you feel ready to move on to the reading. But for those of you who are ready, let us move on to the reading in just a moment. All right, thank you to those of you who joined me for the brief centering exercise, and thank you for those of you who didn't. This is the group selection where I'll just briefly go through the groups that I have here and the items that I have laid out, and you can choose your group, and the timestamps, as always, will be in the description and the pinned comment, so you can just go right down there and move right on to your reading. As always, use your intuition to choose in whatever way that comes through to you, and you can always choose a different group if you decide the one you've chosen is not for you. You can choose more than one group, you can watch them all, whatever you want to do. There's no right or wrong way, it's just the way that makes the most sense for you. So, without further ado, let me introduce the groups. So, we have group 1 here with this horseshoe. It's like real iron too. This is, I think it's iron, but it is a horseshoe, a little mini horseshoe. And for group 2, we have this pine cone, which actually I picked up when I was in Ireland. So, an Irish pine cone for you. And for group 3, we have this Serenity Palm Stone keychain. So, take all the time you need to decide, head down to the timestamps in the description of the pinned comment, and I will see you over in your reading. Hi group 1, if you selected the horseshoe, then you're in the right place, and this is your reading all about what is currently falling into place for you. So as I mentioned in the description, we're looking at whether you are aware of it or not, like what's actually coming together in your life for the best, and something that you will ultimately appreciate, that you want to happen, that is going to be good for you, that you want to hear about, that you want to know is actually working out. And you might already feel like this is working out in your life, or you might not be able to see it working out right now, but there's stuff happening behind the scenes that is working out for you in the long run. So that's what we're looking at. And I'm going to start by flipping over this card that I have here to get your initial message of what it is that's falling into place, and then we'll use more tarot cards to get information on if there's anything else you need to know, if there's anything else you need to do, or anything else that you basically just need to know in order to make sure that this continues to fall into place. You know, if there's anything else you need to do or be aware of about the situation. So that's what we're gonna do. Let me flip over your card and let's get into it. So group 1, what is falling into place for you? We have the 5 of Discs, or 5 of Pentacles. And I know the 5 of Discs in traditional Rider-Waite-Smith is often, it's sometimes considered a somewhat negative card. Of course, it always depends on context. But what I love about this 5 of Discs in this deck is that, to me, this is not at all a negative card in any way, shape, or form. It is a really beautiful card. And I am really getting that coming through in this context. And there's a few specific things that I feel like could be falling into place for my group 1s. I think underlying all of the specifics, though, is this deep sense of peace that might be reflected externally, but radiates internally outward from you, like a deep sense of inner peace and contentment. So that is falling into place for you. But some of the specific ways that I also feel like this is manifesting in your lives, depending on what it is that you align with. So, the specifics might not resonate for everyone, but I'm getting, for some people, this is related to a home situation. For some people, I'm feeling like there's a new home that is coming in for you, that's manifesting, or an opportunity to move forward on improving your home life, your home situation. I'm feeling for some people this is about partnership. This can be about actually like a spouse. So for some people, this could be very specifically about leveling up in a relationship of some kind that really makes you feel good, feel at peace, feel at home and loved. So either entering a new one, leveling up a current one, or in some way in like your love life area that there's a sense of inner peace that is coming to you. So even if it's not about a specific other person, it's almost like a sense of peace within yourself that, say you were someone who struggled with being single or anything like that, it's like a new renewed sense of peace within yourself, just being on your own, being who you are, and feeling good about where you're at in your life, regardless of who and what is in it. But I do feel like for some of you, this is specifically about a relationship as well. And I feel like there was another message that wanted to come through as well. It could have something to do with children. There could be, this is very specific, but a situation like involving children that is coming to a peaceful resolution. So I'm getting something in terms of like a custody situation, or maybe there's some kind of distance between you and an important child in your life that is closing, that you're going to be able to have them back in your life, or this is a reassurance that an important child to you is in a safe situation right now. And there's some kind of message coming through about that in terms of like, you could be at peace knowing that this is okay. This person is okay. And that actually, there's also a message of being at peace knowing that a certain person in your life is okay. And that can extend to many different kinds of situations. I'm getting a passed on loved one. I'm getting a long distance situation. I'm getting someone you haven't seen in a while that you have lost touch with or have been looking to hear from, knowing that they are at peace in some way, shape, or form as well. So lots of messages of contentment, of peace, of coming from the heart, like really heart-centered experiences, I feel like are coming together for you. Like there's something that's been in your heart for a long time that is falling into place for you in a really peaceful way. So if there's been drama in certain areas of your life and turmoil, that is coming to an end. There's a sense that you've been intending your life to become more peaceful, or you'll be pleasantly surprised that things do become peaceful in a way that you haven't experienced in a while very soon, if it's not started to happen already. Yes, it's really lovely though. There's like cozy, homey vibes, like whether it's about a literal home space, relationship, people in your life who you have been, in some cases I just heard praying for, or pulling for in some way. There's there's messages of peace, of contentment, of love, of happiness, of safety here. That is so sweet and so lovely. So with that being said, I'm going to continue getting some messages about this. I think how how am I going to do this? I think I'm going to first, I feel like I want to pull a card to first clarify this, if there's anything else we need to know about what is falling into place for you, just like the topic itself. Then we'll get a card to represent anything that any action that you can take, and then a card for anything else you need to know to just help this continue falling into place. So first, let's get the card to clarify for group 1. What is this about? What is falling into place for group 1? Anything else that you can tell us about that? Okay, we got 2 cards. We got the King of Cups, and we got the 3 of Coins. Okay, so yes, definitely, for those of you who are looking for a solid relationship situation, or who are resonating with the concept of a relationship leveling up, moving up in some way, bringing in a relationship that brings you this level of peace and contentment, that is falling into place for you. And it doesn't have to be romantic. There could also be a higher level of maturity, peace, and harmony in your relationships. Like, things are really working together well. Like, the people in your life are all getting along really well. You are getting along with everyone in your life really well. Just there's an era of peace coming in all of your relationships. And you are maybe even working well with others on some kind of project or something. I feel like there could be even a work situation where things are falling into place, where everyone is all working together really peaceably. So if there's been any conflict in the past, that is resolving and things are starting to flow more smoothly. Everyone is really just getting along. That's the feeling I'm having. If you are watching this at the time of that this is being recorded and uploaded, at least where I live, it is currently we're in fall and we're going into the winter season, which is a big holiday season. And for, not everywhere, but for a lot of places. And so this could be reassurance as well that, because the holiday season can be a time where you're seeing certain people more, reconnecting with family, that will be a peaceful and easy time for you this year. And so it's just, like lovely messages of warmth, of just people working together, people getting along. And like I said, for those of you, King of Cups can be, like, to me, a spouse card. So there could be a new level of a relationship that's happening, or a reconnection, or a deeper level of peace in your current relationship, or a new connection that has the ability to really bring you more inner peace into your life. That, like, this is definitely not about relationships that cause you any turmoil or drama. Like, the era that you're in, what's falling into place for you is just peace, just like peace and things just working out, things working together. I'm specifically getting here, if you're like part of a family, it's like, I feel like there's like a spouse and then 3 kids here, and so maybe that's really specific for those of you who have that like family dynamic, that in particular with your family, this is applying to your family, like that there's like a happy home life falling into place for you, a happy and healthy family experience. Interesting, but just like I'm getting like a well-oiled machine of like emotional connection and maturity in relationships, and just like things are working out, people are working together, harmony is happening, and it's really, really lovely. It just feels like things are flowing so easily, in particular in relationships. And with that, I want to ask now if there are any actions you could take, or anything that you're being asked to do in order to help facilitate this falling into place further. I mean, I feel like it's already happening, but if there's anything that you can do to help this along, to help continue this process, let's tap into that for group 1. How can group 1 help facilitate this process? Queen of Wands. Let me just make sure, is this in frame for you? Almost in frame. Queen of Wands. So, with the Queen of Wands here, action you can take, anything you can do. I feel I'm getting, speak your mind and follow your, like, be passionate. Like, okay, if you have that would normally be like a Queen of Swords thing, maybe. No, but I feel like, honestly, the Queen of Swords is a bit more of like, I feel like she's more of an advisor. Like, people come to her and she just sort of passively assesses the situation and then, like, impartially gives judgment. The Queen of Wands is passionate, very emotionally involved in what she believes in, what she wants. She's a go-getter. She's very charismatic. And I feel like this card, I mean, maybe you're a fire sign. Maybe you don't have to be a woman, but maybe you're a feminine energy, or this is just, it's your permission to connect with your feminine energy, to really continue to follow your passions and put yourself out there, and just like be your true outgoing charismatic self. And you don't have to be like inherently outgoing in order to embrace the Queen of Wands energy, although she gives extrovert, but you don't have to be an extrovert to be that Queen of Wands. It's like whatever way that is natural to you to embrace your passion and speak your truth and speak your mind with again, like, connected to like your own authenticity, not like in a way where to me, the Queen of Wands is like direct and bold and outward facing, and not as much like strategic or manipulative or behind the scenes. Like, she's kind of just like out there in front, like doing, like, I'm getting like very Aries energy, very Aries, Leo, Sagittarius, like just going for it, you know what I mean? That kind of thing. Very fire sign, very fiery. And it's funny because it feels like the Queen of Wands energy can be a little bit opposite from this very peaceful energy that we're getting, but it's almost like this is representing who you authentically are. And so it's like you're falling into your authentic self. And yeah, the Queen of Wands in some cases might be more, aggressive, quote unquote, than others. Like, your Queen of Wands might look a little bit more subdued than other people's, but it's more about like you in your authentic expression, speaking your mind when you feel like it, doing the things that you really want to do, letting people know how you feel and what you're passionate about, and putting yourself out there in whatever way makes sense for you that aligns with your self-expression. Really, yeah, it's about your self-expression. So it's like the more aligned you are with your true self-expression, the more things just kind of fall into place, and the people who are meant for you will be so down for that. And so it's like you being yourself and being in your full expression will not cause any fights or arguments. Like, I feel like what's falling into place is that these peaceful relationships are happening because you found your people and you are just being yourself. And so any people who are not down with that, who would like have a problem with that, just are not sticking around. Like, they're just not there. And you might not be tolerating them, and like you might be so connected with your authentic self that it doesn't even bother you when someone doesn't vibe with you anymore, because it just feels so good to be you. And that's kind of the vibe I'm feeling. Like, so if there's anything that you need to do to continue facilitating this, it's just continuing to really connect with your own self-expression, to be your authentic self, and to not overthink it, to not definitely, like, it's not people pleaser energy. This Queen of Wands is not people pleaser energy at all. So if there's any people pleasing tendencies that you still sometimes engage with, just gently allowing those to fall out of your life, letting go of that, trusting more deeply in the people and connections you have in your life, and then trusting that those who are not vibing with your authentic expression are just not meant for you, and that's okay. And that's not personal, and you can just let that go. Just will allow you to fall more, like, you're at peace with yourself and you're at peace with other people because they are your people. They're just like the right people who want to be around you, and who want to vibe with that self-expression. And you're just feeling that deeper sense of peace within and without. Yeah, it's really, really lovely. Like, it's basically just like, what do you have to do? Just continue being yourself. Just fully be yourself and express yourself artistically, vocally, in how you dress and how you move, in expressing what you want openly and authentically. Yeah, really, really beautiful. So last, we're not going to take those cards yet because I did not ask the question, but the last question I'm going to ask is there anything else, Group 1, that you want Group 1 to know about this or just any closing messages. Actually, I will get like final messages from the quote. I forgot I was going to do that. I was going to pull some quote cards, but I'm going to get one more. I'm going to pull one or two more tarot cards for anything else that you need to know about this situation or any other messages that want to come through just generally. Woo. Okay, is this upright or reversed? Upright or reversed? Upright or reversed? Okay, it's upright. And we have the Two of Coins in this upright or reverse. I think it might be, yeah, this is reversed. Okay, so we have Strength in the Two of Coins. Let me make sure you can see those. Yeah, I'll put them like this. Okay, Strength and the Two of Coins reversed. Page of Cups on the bottom of the deck. That just is speaking to me of like happy home life. Also, 3 children again is coming through. So someone here has 3 kids or has 3 children that are important in their life in some way. So take that message only if it resonates. But Strength and the Two of Coins reversed. This feels like... okay. It's coming through as like directing your strength, directing your energy at like one, like I feel like there's a call to, and I don't know, this might relate to your message in very different ways depending on who you are and what your situation is, but I feel like the message that's coming through in this, like, what else do you need to know here, is directing the full force of your energy at one thing in any given moment. So like not splitting your time and attention, not splitting the, like it's giving, this is really interesting because it's not even the cards that I would pick to like convey this message, but this is how it's coming through. It's like not splitting your attention, like being very, almost like like present and focused on one thing at a time so that you can direct your full force, your full energy at something. So it's like if you want, for example, like, and this is like a choice by choice thing in any given moment on any given day, you are picking like one thing to focus on in the present moment and giving your full attention, full energy, full focus to that. So for example, if you are, you're going apple picking with your family. You're fully in that experience, all right? It doesn't matter what you had going on at work that week. You are not focused on that. You're creating this like beautiful moment with your family. You are not focused at all on work. Your energy's not leaking out into what your friend said the other day or what you're gonna do for dinner the next week or anything. Like, you are fully focused on, this is what I'm doing in this moment, this is who I'm with, this is where I am. You are very in that moment so that your full energy, your full self-expression, it's on full display. You are just fully you in that moment. You're fully embodied, you're fully grounded. You are like packing a punch with your energy. Like it's not scattered. It's not like you're not trying to juggle a million things at once. No multitasking. We're not multitasking. That's what I'm getting. Yeah. You're being advised to avoid multitasking and to really, if you're doing something like in any given moment, commit to doing that thing. So like if you're working on something at work, you are not on a million other tabs, scrolling around and shopping and whatever, blah, blah, blah. And like, that's not to say like that there's anything wrong with that, but it feels like what's most important for you right now is that you're cultivating the sense of presence that will make whatever that you're doing that much more impactful and that much easier to accomplish. And also that just also more enjoyable for you. I feel like if your energy gets too scattered amongst like thinking about a million different things at once, it's very ungrounding and it makes getting things done more difficult, and it makes things that might have actually been enjoyable for you if you were like fully in them just less fun. And I feel like you're being encouraged to enjoy things more. And even something that you like, if you're like not fully present with an activity or an action, and you're constantly wishing that it's over, then you can't enjoy any of it because you're just like, oh, I just want to get this done and move on. But you're being encouraged to just like be like, no, if this is what I'm choosing to do right now, then my full energy is directed at it. And if I'm deciding that I'm going to do something else, then I'm cutting off this thing and we're done with that. We're closing that for right now, and we're fully engaged with this other thing. That's what I'm feeling. No matter if you're working, no matter if you're doing a project, no matter if you're watching a TV show, no matter if you're at a family gathering. If you do decide to go on your phone, you're fully engaged with whatever you're watching at that time. Like, if you got to take notes, take notes. If you're like, well, this is a silly little meme, I'm not going to take notes on that. Well, you know what? Don't just like laugh and then scroll. Like, really sit with it in that moment, so that you can be more present and grounded in what you're engaging with and you're not mindlessly doing the thing. That's what I'm getting here. And I feel like it does make sense with this message, because I feel like there's, again, like when you're focused and in that flow, you are in a state of inner peace. And so the more you can cultivate that, even during tasks that you normally want to rush through, or you're like normally multitasking through, it's like, no, like start to really focus in and be present and see how much more you enjoy that task, because you are just like, no, my energy's not completely scattered and I'm really here for it. And I'm committing in this moment to this thing that I'm doing. I'm choosing, this is what I'm going to do. And this is where I'm putting my energy right now. You will enjoy things more if you do it like that. I promise you, that is really what's coming through strongly, because there's a deep sense of peace and presence in this whole reading. And I feel like that's how you cultivate more of it. So if that's already something that you've been doing or you've been thinking about, like gravitating towards like, hey, you know what, I really want to like multitask less when I'm doing this or that. Yes, this is confirmation. That is where you're moving. That's helping this all fall into place for you. These peaceful relationships, this sense of inner peace and presence, and whatever else it is. Like if there's any of those specific things, that the home, the relationship, the family, the like the project that you might be working on with other people, it will make it fall into place so much easier if you're practicing this real deep focus all the time, not just in certain moments that you want to focus on. Choose to want to focus on whatever it is that you actually choose to do, if that makes sense. And if you're like, no, I really don't want to focus on this, see if it's something that you can choose not to do, at least for the time being, and come back. Yeah. Ooh, this is such a lovely like energy. I love it for you guys. Group 1. So let's just close with any quote cards. So are there any quote messages just to close this reading out for group 1? Any quote cards? Okay, well, I dropped one. Cool. We have 3 here, so we probably don't need to get more, but I will because I have a whole other pile. So, I always got to shuffle up all of my quote cards. So I have so many, and I don't really want to like miss out on a good quote if it's gonna be relevant. So any more quote messages for group 1? Yes, and we'll take this one as well, and we'll leave it at that. So your quote cards. First of all, we have this one here, which says, if you had a special knack for finding things, it means you owed the world to look, from the Raven Boys by Maggie Stiefvater, which feels like, again, it feels like committing to whatever it is that you are in the middle of. Is part of that message. Like you have such a powerful energy with this Queen of Wands and the Strength card here. You have such a powerful energy when you really put your mind to something, that it's almost like you owe whatever it is that you choose to focus on your full attention and energy. Because like it's like with great power comes great responsibility, and you have great power. Don't let it get diluted by like thinking about a million other things, or having a million tabs open, or doing a million things at once. In that moment, do the one thing. Anything else that you need to accomplish that's really important for you will still be there when you're done with that one thing, ready for you to give that your full attention. Love it. We also have this card here. I just feel like there's like with this and with that, it's like there's the sense of flow. Like it's really about getting into the flow state. And I feel like that's part of like what, like your life is just flowing. Your relationships are just flowing. Things are just flowing. You're getting into a flow state. Drink every time I say the word flow. No, don't do that. Well, I mean, I won't tell you what to do. All right. So this says, I've made up my mind to enjoy this drive, from Anne with an E. Yes. Yes, that makes so much sense. Like, it's like all of this is falling into place in part because you've kind of made it a priority to choose peace, to choose the flow, to choose an easy, gentle experience in some way, in some area, whatever it is. It's like you've put your energy behind this, and this Queen of Wands, this powerful force, this powerful energy, like, it can be directed in a way that is like, it's like, it doesn't burn down the house, but it flows. It like radiates that heat, it radiates that warmth, and like it's because you made up your mind, like everything is falling into place. Like, so if you're like wanting to claim this message, but you feel uncertainty is totally fine, but just say right now, I choose peace, I choose this, and I make that decision now, and just let it fall into place, just let it be. We have this card with, past failure does not prove that there is not a chance in the future, yes? From The Way of Kings by Brandon Sanderson. Yeah, so if you're thinking, oh, well, like, you know, especially if there's like a specific situation you're thinking of, if there's something that you feel like didn't work out in the past, like if it has to do with like a home situation or relationship or anything, like again, you're choosing peace, you're choosing an easy, gentle road here, and just because that didn't happen in the past, like, you just weren't ready, or you weren't in this energy, but you are now. This is falling into place for you now. So just trust it. Just allow it. Just go with the flow. And know that everything is working out. And yeah, just be easy about it. And I feel like that's what's happening here. Like, you're choosing peace. So, like, you know this, I think. I feel like a lot of people in this group, you're like, yeah, no, like, I know this. I've chosen this. I already know this is what I want. And then we have this card here with, a story is true, a story is untrue. As time extends, it matters less and less. The stories we want to believe, those are the ones that survive, despite upheaval and transition and progress. Those are the stories that shape history. From Black Sails by Jack Rackham. Yeah, this is all about the stories that we tell and choose to believe in, and how that shapes history. And this matters on an individual level as well. And so I feel like this is falling into place for you because you have been choosing to believe in more stories that center peace and ease and flow and things working out and good relationships in your life. You're starting to believe in that story. You're starting to believe in that, and that is helping you tell those stories about your life in situations where in the past you might not have. You might, like, you know, I'm getting the difference between someone who like leaves a party and immediately gossips about all the drama and like, oh my god, did you hear this and this and this? And like, not that there's anything wrong with that, but it's not like the most peaceful thing, versus someone who leaves a party and is like, you know what, that was such a great time. It was really nice seeing this person and that person, and like, that was great, that was fun, you know? And they both experienced the same party, but they experienced it in different ways from different perspectives because they were aligned with different experiences. And so it, you know, whatever experience you prefer and choose to align with, that's up to you. And it feels like you have really decided on one that is centered on peace. Again, take a shot every time I say peace. Don't do that. Don't do that. But really centered on just like things working out with ease and just like this feeling of contentment, of safety. And that's the experience that you're having. And those are the stories that you're telling about your life, and those are the stories that you're choosing to believe in. And if that's what you want, if that is aligned with you, if that sounds beautiful and good and true to you, then congratulations. That's wonderful, and it is happening for you. And we love to see it. And the thing, like, yeah, there's just so much peace and contentment and beauty here for you. So the things that are aligned with that you're welcoming into your life as a result of like that peace in a way that is easy and relaxing and gentle for you, just like, ooh, it's gonna be so good if it hasn't already been good already. I feel like it's already been happening, and it's just kind of like this momentum is continuing to build for you. And so like you'll see it it even more and more throughout the next few months. I actually just got, so maybe for some of you, that is really the timing. Like there's a few months period where this is really like falling into place for you. So allow it to unfold, no need to rush anything, but it's just like, I feel like you're just going to increasingly feel more at ease as time goes on, as opposed to the opposite. And you're someone who might have been used to the opposite in the past. So congrats, group 1. This is a really lovely energy. I feel so like calm and chill right now. I appreciate it. Appreciate sharing your energy. But that's all I have for you. So I hope this resonated. Please like, comment, and subscribe. I would love to know how this resonated for you. And if you're interested, as I mentioned in the beginning of the reading, we do offer personal readings on sunflowerphilosophy.com. Link is in the description. And my mom and I are certified consulting hypnotists, and my mom does human design. So if you want to check out those other services, that's also on the website. Thanks again for watching. Have a wonderful life, and I will see you in another reading again sometime very soon. Bye! Hi, Group 1. If you selected this pine cone from Ireland, then you're in the right place, and this is your reading all about what is falling into place for you right now. So this is like whatever's coming together for you, whether you're aware of it right now or you are maybe not so aware of it, but we're going to let you know that things are like working out behind the scenes, that things are falling into place, and that you can relax into this change. Whatever it is, I'm intending that it's going to be about something that you want, that is exciting for you, that will be aligned with you. So yeah, we're just going to see what's falling into place for you right now. I have selected a card that we will flip over to get our topic of what is falling into place, and then we'll get tarot cards to elaborate, find out if there's anything that you need to do or be aware of in order to help this keep falling into place, and we'll close with some quote cards. So that's how we're going to do it. So without further ado, let's flip over your card and get into it, Group 2. All right, so you have, we got to cover him up. You have the Fool card. So this is the Fool card, just a little nude. So I'm just, for YouTube's sake, just censoring that a bit, but all right, we have the Fool card, which is such a fun energy. Ooh, I just bumped the table. Sorry about that, Group 2. Okay. Group 2, I feel like what is falling into place for you is a new beginning. And part of that is you getting the courage or the opportunity to take the first step. And I feel like this could be, for a lot of you, something you've been hesitating on for a while, or something where you've been like almost about to do it and it just hasn't been the right time, or something hasn't quite worked out. But what's falling into place for you is this like feeling of, it's time, I'm ready, let's go, let's do this, for some kind of new beginning in your life. And with the pine cone here being your item that you chose, I feel like that makes a lot of sense. Pine cones, like, they carry seeds, and seeds are new beginnings, new potential. And yeah, it's like there's something, and I would bet that for a lot of you, you've been hoping for a new beginning in some area. You've been hoping, this is something you've been hoping to usher in, to bring into your life for some time, and it's just finally aligning. Specific message that's coming through is specifically related to children. So for some of you, this could be literally about having a child, welcoming a new member of the family. And on that vein, maybe it's not a child, but maybe it's welcoming a new member of the family in terms of like someone who's in your family is getting married, you're welcoming in their spouse to your family, and it's, the vibes around it are good. Or it's welcoming a new animal into your family, something like that. It doesn't have to be that, but those are the specific things that are coming through. But it could be any kind of new beginning, really. For some of you, I just heard like a new identity, like forging a new identity. Literally, like, okay, this is really specific, but if some of you have been wanting to start, okay, well, I'm getting like like a new beginning in terms of literally like creating a new persona. So maybe like an online persona, like maybe you want to create a character that you play online, like, or like you take on this persona, like you have an anonymous account, but it's like you start like say a new YouTube channel or an Instagram based around this like persona that you have for yourself. Or I'm even getting like a drag persona, or like maybe for some of you even playing with like gender identity a bit. Like there's a lot of different things here going on, but like in some ways like it's a new beginning, and for some of you there's a new identity that's being taken on. So that even applies in the case of like a child. Like if you're becoming a parent, like that's a new identity that you're starting with. Like if you weren't a parent before, if this is your first child, then you're like taking on this new identity of mom or dad or whatever your parent name is. And yeah, there's some way in which like, or like if it's not your child, like you're a new aunt or an uncle or something like that. Yeah, there's some way in which like there's this new beginning that's falling into place for you. It's adding an identity to your repertoire, something that you are excited about exploring, something that you're excited about engaging with. And either it's taken a while for it to fall into place, it's something that in some cases you have had to wait for, or if it is something that it's you have to be the one to take the first step. Maybe you again have hesitated, or it just has not been the right time, and that is it's coming together. It's like, okay, now is the time. Or you've been waiting to launch something, for example. So yeah, like it has to do with like just like a new start and a new identity for you. That's really interesting. So let's further clarify this group 2. So I'm just going to get a tarot card to further clarify what it is that is falling into place for you, in case there's any other messages there, and then we'll get into like actions that you might be encouraged to take to help this continue falling into place, and then anything else you need to know. So let's see. What is falling into place for group 2? Can we clarify that a little bit further? What is falling into place for group 2 right now? What is falling into place for group 2 right now? Knight of Coins. Progress. Slow and steady wins the race. Patience. But the Knight of Coins, to me, this is giving like, whatever new journey this is, it's here to stay. That's what I'm getting. Like, it's not, this is something that has been in the works for a long time, and it's also going to possibly be a slow and steady journey for you. But this feels like it's really good, because this is actually, I think you would want this kind of thing to be a slow and steady journey. Like, obviously, it's giving the sense of, again, like if you're welcoming a new child into your life, the idea that they're going to be a new and permanent fixture of your life and will be around for a long time, and like it will change your life forever in some way. But it's also like a progression, right? So it starts off small and then grows, and you slowly progress and grow and change along with it. And so it also speaks to if you're starting a new like venture, which requires you to take on a new identity, a new role at work, or a new YouTube channel, a new persona, a new character you're creating, a new project you're starting that you're finally like having the impetus to begin. Like it's going to be with you for a long time. You're going to be working on this, growing with this, growing through this for a long time. And that is the best, like that's the best form of this. Like this is something you don't want to rush. This is something that you don't want to be like a flash in the pan and then all of a sudden like it's over. It's not just like a one-time experience. This is like a consistent process that you learn and grow with over time. And yeah, and that's why it's the Fool, because you're at the very beginning of this experience and you know it's going to be a long journey, but you're like, it's what you want. It's a natural leveling up for you. It's a new stage, a new phase. And again, I feel like for a lot of you, you've been looking forward to this or something like this for a long time. So with that, are there any actions that you're being encouraged to take right now that will help this continue to fall into place, help this new beginning continue to fall into place for you? Is there any action? Okay, that fell out really fast. The Moon. I don't know why. Like, I guess because sometimes people joke about, like, the moon being made of cheese. And this crow, sorry, it's not a crow, it's a raven. This raven is, like, eating the moon. I'm, like, getting the message of, like, eat some cheese. So maybe that's some kind of like confirmation for you, or just a joke. Maybe you really like cheese. I don't know. Eat some cheese. No, but the moon can deal with the subconscious. It can deal with fear and uncertainty. I feel like what you're being, and I feel like this is a new chapter. So any fears you have around uncertainty, you're being asked to move through them, to allow yourself, like, yes, allow yourself to admit that there is uncertainty in this new journey, that because it is literally a like new beginning for you, you don't know how it's going to unfold. You're not going to know how to like do everything right off the bat. It's going to be a learning experience. So there is uncertainty inherent in that. And if you have any fears around that, if you have any worries around that, you're being asked to acknowledge that that is okay. Acknowledge those fears and worries. Acknowledge the uncertainties that might cause you some anxiety, and be present with that. And you don't have to feel so super confident or completely reassured that everything's going to work out perfectly. It's okay to feel afraid. It's okay to feel uncertain, but don't run away from this because of that. And I feel like you won't. I feel like more than anything, this is about acknowledging the fear and admitting that it's okay to have some fear, and admitting that it's okay to not know exactly how this will unfold for you. So I feel like maybe some of you feel like this need to put on a brave face and be like, nah, yeah, I'm so ready for this. And maybe you're just not completely honestly feeling that way. And to put on this, like, to say to people, oh yeah, no, I know this is going to work out. This is going to be great. And it's like, yeah, it probably will work out, but like, you might not actually feel as certain, underneath as you are portraying. And at least to yourself, you're being asked to admit and be honest about any fears or uncertainties you have and doubts that you might have, and just allow them to exist and allow them to be a part of this experience, and know that it's completely normal and natural to feel that way, but also it doesn't need to rule your experience. And the sooner that you can acknowledge this, because some of it might be subconscious, and so like just let it come to the surface and let yourself acknowledge it, and then also say like, you know, it's okay. Like, I will know what my next step is one step at a time. This is a new journey for me, a new adventure, and it's going to take a while, but it's also, you're committed to this path. So I feel like you can move through any of this, like, easily. I feel like no matter what, you're not going to let fears or doubts stop you. It's just encouraging you to accept the experience of fear and doubt when it comes up, knowing that it's not going to stop you, knowing that it's not going to get in your way, but knowing that it's also natural and normal and something that you can work with when you need to. So with that being said, I'm going to ask then if there's anything else that Group 2 is meant to be aware of at this time regarding this new beginning, regarding this thing that is falling into place for them, that would just help them on their journey. Okay. Wheel of Fortune and Four of Coins. Ooh, okay. Yeah. Wheel of Fortune, I'm almost feeling like I want to reverse these. It doesn't really matter, but that's just what I was feeling. Yeah. So this is giving the idea of like, maybe tightening the purse strings a little bit at the start, but trusting that fortune is on the way. That can be literal in terms of finances. If this is a new venture that might put you under some financial strain at first, trust that it will resolve itself, that things will get easier and smoother over time, that you will make the money back, or there will be some kind of windfall I just heard. So that is a possibility for you in a potentially literal sense. If finances aren't as much of a major feature of this new beginning, this can also be about potentially, like, you at the beginning you might hold back a little bit. Like, you might feel like the urge to go a bit slow, and you might not give this your all at first. And this is letting you know that that's okay, not to beat yourself up about it if you don't like immediately jump off the cliff like this fool, or if you realize that you have been holding yourself back and that's why this hasn't come to fruition yet. And that'll depend on your situation and specifically what this is about. So if you have been holding yourself back in some way because you've been fearing that you're not ready, maybe this moon has gotten to you. And that could be what this moon is about as well. Like admitting the fears because you're admitting, oh wait, like, no, the excuses that I was making about it not being time. Oh, that's what this is about. Yeah. If you've been making excuses about it not being time and about like giving yourself reasons to hold back from this new journey, it's because of these fears and they might be subconscious. So for a while, you might not have been admitting that it was actually out of fear. It might have been coming through as, oh, well, you know, it's not the right time because of this or that, or there's this or that. And it's like, no, once you address those fears, accept that fear and doubt and realize that that is not going to stop you ultimately in your journey and just like make that move, you're going to realize that none of that was ever a concrete reason. It was really just the fear itself holding you back. And this is about not being too hard on yourself about that realization, just acknowledging that this is now the right time for you to realize that, right? So in a way, at the same time as the fear was the only thing preventing the timing from happening, like was the only thing that was making you think that it wasn't the right time, it also needed to be the right time for you to realize what was holding you back, to realize that, and then to make your move. So in a way, like, it wasn't the right time. You were kind of right, but you were also kind of wrong about why it wasn't the right time. It was really just you the whole time. And this is, I feel like, a really valuable lesson that will actually help you throughout the rest of your journey because you'll be able to more readily recognize when you're hesitating on making a choice or start making a new start in some way or taking the next step, and you'll know where it's coming from. And you won't buy into it for as long, it won't hold you back for as long, and you'll be able to actually move forward much more smoothly and easily and faster than you did maybe when you were beginning this journey. Like, I feel like that's been a big part of the lesson that's brought you to this place where now you're finally ready to make that move. Like, you're realizing what it is that was holding you back, you're realizing how internal and subconscious it was, and it's coming to your consciousness so that you will recognize this in the future, and you will be ready sooner. Because you will know that you just need to work through the fear and the doubt. You just need to allow it. You just need to not let it stop you and do it anyway. And when you feel that readiness and or decide to move forward despite not feeling that readiness, like whenever you do that, that is the right timing. You know? Like whatever your timing is the right timing. Yeah. It's like interesting because there's a bit of a paradoxical message in there, but like it makes sense. I like that. I really like that because, like I said, like this is a new journey that is sticking with you, and you're going to, whatever lessons you've learned to get you to this place where you're ready for this to like begin, it's going to carry throughout this journey, and you're only going to get stronger and more aligned as you go. This is really fun. So let's get any closing messages from the quote cards for group 2. They're so hard to shuffle because there's so many of them. They're not like real cards. They are index cards that I painted and wrote on. Okay. Anyway, group 2. What is falling into place for group 2? What are the closing messages that you have for group 2 today? Any closing messages for group 2? Okay, yeah, they're falling out. Oh, that's funny. You know, we'll do this one first, then that one. And then I have another pile, so I'm just gonna quick grab a couple more from that pile if they want to come out. So group 2. Any closing messages for group 2 from this pile of quote cards, please? Any closing messages for group 2 from this pile of quote cards? That. All right, and we'll leave it at that. So let's do this one first. So we have, who judges the judge who judges wrong? The sentence too weak, the sentence too strong, the penance too quick, the penance too long. Who judges the judge who judges wrong? From Fairest by Gail Carson Levine. So yeah, this is asking you definitely to take a look at judgment, whether you're receiving judgment from other people or you're afraid of judgment from other people, or there's self-judgment going on. Maybe also judgment of like a certain, maybe something that held you back from this new path was judgment of other people who you've seen take a similar path and not wanting to be like them or feeling like, oh, they're doing it wrong. But then realizing that what's also holding you back is your fear of doing the same, like being the same person, like being judged in the same way that you're judging those people. And I feel like you're kind of realizing now that has been part of what's holding you back from this new beginning. Of course, depending on what it is this fear of like, oh wait, maybe it's not as easy as I think, or maybe I'm gonna end up being these people, or like when you start this journey, like, it will be different than what you imagined. And so, yeah, you might make some of the same quote-unquote mistakes, or you might understand more fully why someone else was making the decisions they made and have a different perspective of it. And maybe there's been some kind of fear of, like, being, like, proven wrong or feeling like a hypocrite or whatever, but you're ready to let that go. You're ready to let that go. So I feel like if there's any judgment that's been holding you back, whether it's been directed at you or at others, you're just like not putting up with that anymore because it's not worth it. And it's okay. It's okay to have been judgmental of something and then change your mind, and don't let that stop you from living your best life. And then we have this card, which I love because I'm recording this in the fall and it's like technically a little bit fall themed. So it's kind of like, we've got fall represented over here. And this says, nothing gold can stay. Nature's first green is gold, her hardest hue to hold. Her early leaf's a flower, but only so an hour. Then leaf subsides to leaf, so Eden sank to grief. So dawn goes down to day, nothing gold can stay. Yeah, and that really makes sense with the Fool card coming out because it's like you're beginning this journey and you're going to grow so much through it and you're not going to stay this fool. You're not going to stay this beginner. And so you are inherently, by taking on this new journey, you're inherently going to change. You're inherently letting go of an old identity and taking on a new one. And there might be a little bit of grief in that. Like, I think that could also be part of this moon here is like subconscious fear of letting go of the old and grief over the old, even if you're feeling like the new is going to be better or you're feeling really optimistic about it, there might still be a part of you that feels a little sad about letting go of this past you, about stepping into this new change. And that's okay. Acknowledge that, sit with that, feel that. Like, let that part of you grieve and feel sad, even if there's another part of you that's so excited about this or feeling really good about it. Both can exist at the same time, and let the other one go through its process so that you can fully move forward after that, feeling that you've processed that, and know that, yeah, this journey that you're starting now will eventually come to an end in some way, shape, or form as well, but that's okay. Just enjoy it while it lasts and know that this is the natural cycle of life, and this is falling into place for you because this is where you're meant to be. You're meant to take on this new identity, this new journey, and yeah, like, you can accept that and also miss the old at the same time. And that's just life. That's natural. That's nature. Yeah. And yes, whatever it is that you're beginning, your view of it, your perspective of it will change as you go through the experience. But that doesn't mean that it will be worse than what you imagined it. Like, yeah, you're stepping out of your imagination, out of anticipation, and into the actual living of it. It will be different, but it will be just as good. I'm getting another quote that's like, it won't be what you imagined, but it will be just as good. And that's from the Opal short story by Maggie Stiefvater. So, yeah, that's another good one that's coming through. And then last but not least, we have this card here with, so always risk, this is perfect. Oh, this is perfect. So always risk your skin, she said, and never fear losing it, 'cause it always does some good one way or another when the powers that be deign to take it off you. From How to Be Both by Ali Smith. And I'm feeling called to say you might like this book if you want to read it. But yeah, because there might be you might have some mixed feelings. Again, like there's some sadness and there's some excitement about this new journey. And there's this feeling of risk. And again, I was getting this feeling of like you're finally having the courage to take that first step. And this is saying, yes, take the risk. Never fear losing it. Yes, there will be things that happen in ways that you didn't anticipate, that you didn't expect. Yes, some things will work out so beautifully in the way that you want them to. And you'll also discover along the way that you might want something different than what you thought. But that's part of the process, and that's worth finding out. So just take the risk, trust yourself, trust the universe, trust what you're engaging with, and have fun with it, and just be open to the learning that's going to come from this chapter of your life. I'm feeling like kind of emotional right now, guys. I don't know what it is that you're doing, but it feels big. And in some cases, I feel like it's like a big emotional thing for you to like get started. And for others, I feel like it will be like the journey will be really profound and bring you places that you never expected. And like the emotion that you're going to experience over that will be like down the line further. But yeah, it feels like emotional in a really good way, but like a deep, profound, wonderful journey that you're starting. Oh my God. Yeah. So yeah, so what's falling into place for you is just starting that journey. And it's going to be really meaningful. But that is all I have for you today, group 2. So I hope you enjoyed that. I would love to know how that resonated for you. Oh my God. And yeah, so like, comment, subscribe, and do the whole thing if you're interested. And if you are interested in personal readings, check out sunflowerphilosophy.com, our website. And my mom and I are also certified consulting hypnotists. So if you're interested in hypnosis or human design, also on our website. And yeah, thanks again for watching. Have a wonderful life, and I will see you in another reading again sometime very soon. Bye. Hi, group 3. If you selected the Serenity Palm Stone keychain, then you're in the right place, and this is your reading all about what is falling into place for you right now. So anything that is coming together for you, whether you're aware of it and you're like, yes, this is coming together and this is just confirmation, or maybe there's some things you don't even know are working out that are actually working out in the background, and we're going to let you know, and you can relax and enjoy that process. I will flip over this card. Actually, there's 2 cards that you got to tell us what is falling into place for you, and then I'll get some tarot cards to elaborate on that, to see if there's any actions that you can take to help this continue falling into place, and anything else you need to know before closing out with some Poe cards. So without further ado, let's flip over your cards and get into it. So we have the Knight of Cups and the Five of Swords. So let's see if you can see those. Knight of Cups and Five of Swords. And I want to say, before I like get into the cards, actually with the Serenity Palm Stone, I was just getting the message, like, if you've seen Seinfeld, when I think it's George Costanza's father is like, he's got his little like Serenity Now kind of mantra for whenever he's like trying to remain calm and not get angry or pissed off or whatever. Serenity now, serenity now. So that could be a message for you, that if that could be a confirmation for you if you're familiar with the show. With the Five of Swords, for some reason I was getting like synchronicity. So part of this, whatever is falling into place for you, you might see a lot of synchronicities around this. So that could be one of your synchronicities. But I am getting this. What's falling into place for you is conflict resolution. Some kind of conflict is resolving, and it's similar because it's interesting because this message is almost similar to some of the things that came through in group 1, so maybe there's some messages for you there as well, but it's a bit of a different vibe. I feel like in this case, for a lot of you, there's some kind of specific conflict or thing that you've been concerned about, worried about, that you are going to be able to resolve. For some people, it's going to resolve itself, but I do feel like there's been an element of you growing through this conflict and finding a deeper sense of maturity and compassion and empathy that is going to contribute to your ability to resolve this. And I do feel like this is probably conflict with other people. But there is a level of compassion here. There's a level of maturity. There's a level of, as well, maybe for some of you, you're hoping that others will also grow. Like, it's not just going to be up to you to resolve the conflict, but that you will all parties involved will be able to grow to a level of maturity and compassion and empathy that you will all be able to come together and resolve the conflict, whether you have conflict with one another or you're coming together to resolve a separate conflict outside of you. Like, there is some kind of conflict resolution happening here. That is what is falling into place for you guys. So with that in mind, I'm going to, even though we already have 2 cards here for you, I'm going to get another card to see if there's anything else that wants to clarify that message, that wants to elaborate on what's falling into place for you. Then I will get a card to represent any action that you can take to make sure this keeps falling into place or just to ease this journey along. And then I'll just get any other information that you need to know. So for group 3, yeah, I feel like this is a situation where yeah, it's either like you and others or another person are reaching this like resolution, reaching a level of serenity with each other, or like you are reaching this within yourself and you're like closing out this chapter for yourself. You're like reaching a level of peace with the way that something was resolved or the way that something ended, or in some cases even like a level of peace with something being unresolved. You're just like, no, like my peace is more important, like call me when you're ready to fix this, or like I don't like I'm just gonna move on right now, you know? That's the kind of feeling I'm getting. But I feel like in a lot of cases it will involve multiple parties coming together and there will be a peaceful resolution. All right. So let's just clarify if there's anything else that you can tell us about what is falling into place for group 3 here. Anything else about what is falling into place for group 3, please? What is falling into place for group 3? Well, that flipped out onto the floor. Let's take a look. 8 of coins. Something that you've been focused on, something that you've been working at for a long time. So, yeah. This could also even be an inner conflict. I feel like a lot of external conflict involves a certain level of internal conflict, so it doesn't have to be mutually exclusive. But yeah, I feel like there's like a lot of work that's gone into this. Whether you've been working on this with other people for a long time, or you've been working on yourself for a long time to be able to reach this level, again, of like maturity, of emotional maturity and compassion to be able to allow a resolution to come through, a peaceful resolution. Like I feel like a lot of self-work has gone into this finally coming together, this finally ending. Yeah, a lot of hard work, a lot of focus. This is the culmination of a lot of time spent like deliberating or coming up with ideas or just like doing that inner self work that may or may not, like I feel like the work that you've been doing may or may not have been centered on exactly this issue, but it could have been more focused on something else or just focused on in general like working on yourself, and in some way like the tools that you gained along the way will help with whatever this specific situation is, because I do feel like for a lot of people this is really about a specific situation. Interesting. So now let's ask if there's a specific action that you could take, anything you could do to help this continue falling into place, even though it already is. We'll just see if there's anything that you can like do to further this cause. Is there anything in group 3, any action they can take? Yeah, that's reversed. Okay. 7 of Wands reversed. I just heard, like, let it fizzle out. Let the flame go out. Let the flame die. Oh. For some of you, this is about, like... Okay, I don't know if you can see this. This is, like, someone who is... They're protecting this flame from the rain, right? But in this case, it's reversed. And I feel like it's almost like you are... Yeah, one of the ways that this conflict is being resolved is I feel like you have reached a level of, like... emotional maturity, confidence within self, peace within self, that you are backing down. It's almost like you're backing down from the fight, not out of a space of like, oh, I lost or whatever. Like it's because you have a new level of compassion for yourself, for the other person, for the situation, whatever, that is allowing you to just say like, you know what? It's not worth it. You know what? Let's let this fizzle out. Let's let this die. Let's let this burn out. Let's let this, the water is coming and like burning out these matches, like burning out the flames. And that's like the Knight of Cups, right? That the water of the Knight of Cups, the compassion, the emotion. Yeah, you're letting like the rain come and like wash. Like I'm just getting like let the rain fall down and wake my dreams. Let it wash away my sanity. You know, come clean by Hilary Duff. So. That song might be a message for you. Yeah, that's what I'm getting. Like, you're letting the rain fall. You're, like, letting it wash away. Like, any of the conflict that was there, the tension, the aggression, the defensiveness, the anger. There's, like, there might be an emotional release where you might, actually, like, get emotional. You might cry. You might, like... And I could see this happening where it's you with yourself and you're, like, letting yourself... resolve the tension and the anguish that you feel by like letting yourself really fully feel your emotions and bringing compassion to those emotions, and then letting that resolve the like excess energy within you that was keeping this sort of like, I don't know, if the anger or whatever it was alive, and you're just letting that just fully release. Or this could be in conversation with another or others, where you are letting the emotions rise to the surface and letting people see how you genuinely feel and not holding back, being like overly emotional or whatever. Like sometimes as well, I'm getting this sense of like sometimes like anger, and I've had this experience actually recently, I had this realization, but sometimes like when you get angry, what you really feel is sad, but you're afraid to show the sadness, so you let it come out as anger. And that might be happening with different emotions for you, but that's the one that's coming through here. So maybe where you've been defensive and angry, you're now allowing that sadness to come to the surface and to show, and that authentic display of emotion is one thing that will help diffuse the conflict and help you and another person reach a level of deeper understanding of one another, to say, oh, this is what you've actually been feeling, this is what you've actually been trying to communicate. That's what I'm feeling here. Like in one way or another, you are rising above this feeling. You're letting it process out. Well, not rising above, like you're not shoving it down, like you're letting it rise out and process, and then letting go of like the anger, the frustration, the sadness, and moving forward. And in some cases, this will again like involve a conversation, involve a conflict resolution, and in other cases, this is really about you realizing, you know what, I'm ready to let this go. It's not even worth it. It's not, maybe you have a different perspective on it now. Maybe once you process it out, you're like, you know what, this isn't worth risking this relationship, or this isn't worth the energy that I've been spending on it anymore. And I'm actually like, and then something in you, I feel like, is healing from this. And if there's a conflict that's been like exacerbating this like feeling of anger in you, it's in some cases, it'll, and not for everyone maybe, but in some cases, it's not even about this person or the situation. It's about a past thing. And it's like, this is bringing that past anger, sadness, whatever, to the surface. And you're realizing that's what was triggering it. And you're starting to process that. And as you process it, you let it go, and you realize that the conflict that you were perceiving is, you're not perceiving it in the same way anymore. It's actually not the fight that you thought it was. And again, this is falling into place for you, because it's like, helping you move on from something that I think was taking a lot of your energy, and also showing you how much you've really grown and how much your perspective has changed. And just like, I feel like your heart is opening, and it feels really good. I feel like it feels really good to let your feelings out and to let this go, and to move on, because I also feel like new horizons will open as a result of you letting whatever this is go. This could either be about a long-standing like defensiveness that you've had, like wound that you've had closing, and or a long-standing like conflict that's been going on that is either resolving with both of you or everyone involved, or resolving within you where you're just like not fazed by it anymore. It's just, you're not part of it anymore. You're not engaging with it anymore. And so you're able to devote your energy and your time elsewhere. And it feels really beautiful. So I want to ask if there's just anything else that you need to know about this thing that's falling into place for you. This conflict resolution, this thing that's resolving. Is there anything else you need to know? That's a lot of cards. I'm going to shuffle it back up. If those cards need to come back out, they'll come back out. Is there anything else group 3 needs to know about this thing that's falling into place for them? Knight of Wands. I just got like, you're getting your mojo back. You're getting your fire back. You're like, I even got like, this is about like you kind of grieving something from the past and finally letting it go. It's like you're getting like your passion, your inspiration back. Like, I'm getting a specific example of like going through like, say, a divorce or a breakup, and grieving that for a time and holding on to some anger and frustration with your past partner and your past experience, maybe even with yourself about how things went down. And then finally allowing that to like come to the surface and to like officially, like finally like grieve it, cry it out, whatever, let it go. And in that process, like, and maybe this has been like ongoing process. Maybe this will take a little bit of time for you, but maybe you've been sort of releasing this emotion, right? Like you were letting yourself feel what you felt for a while, and then it's sort of like you went through all the phases and the emotions, and then you're finally like resolving that, and you're kind of like realizing you're starting to feel like, oh, like I'm starting to feel like myself again. I'm starting to get my like inspiration back. I'm starting to feel playful and like fun again. That's what I'm feeling. And that doesn't have to be your literal situation, but that's like one example. Yeah. And you're just going to, I also feel like you're going to have more energy now that it's not directed at this conflict. You're going to have more energy to direct in new fun areas of your life, like new projects, new relationships, new adventures. And you're just going to be like fun and carefree and maybe a little impulsive about it, but you're just gonna have a good time. That's what it feels like. That you're meant to know about this is that this is leading you to just having more fun, having more energy, having more inspiration. Yeah, like getting your spark back, like feeling like your fiery, like energized self again, even if that's not necessarily how you feel. Like whatever it feels like that's what you're reclaiming. Through this process. Yeah. And it could be if there's like conflict resolution happening in like a relationship, maybe the relationship itself is getting its spark back as well. And gonna be a bit more fun, lighter, fancy free, all that. Which is lovely. So yeah, this conflict is coming to an end, and a resolution that I feel like everyone can be satisfied with this resolution. Or, at the very least, you are satisfied with this resolution. And that is the most important thing. So, just to close out, let's just get a few quote cards, and then we'll end this message. But this feels really beautiful, Group 3. I'm very happy for you that this is coming to an end, whatever this is. All right. Because also, like, I just want to stress that, like, something is coming to an end, but it's also, like, you have grown in such a beautiful way. And that's why. And so I just want to acknowledge that. All right. So is there anything else? Any closing messages for Group 3? Okay. We got 2 cards from this pile, and then we have just like another pile of quote cards that I just want to shuffle up for Group 3 here. Shuffling up for Group 3. Any remaining closing messages for Group 3? Any closing messages from this pile? And I'll do one more shuffle. Any closing messages from this pile? No, I think we're going to stick with these 2 because the other one did not want to let go of any messages. So let's do this. And I think these are going to be perfect. Let's see what this one is first. We have this card. And it says, "Today, Blue Thought, is the day I stop listening to the future and start living it instead." From The Raven Boys by Maggie Stiefvater. Yeah, like, this is giving, like, such moving on energy, moving into the future, just, like, letting go of old conflicts, giving you that, again, that ability, the word impetus is coming through, the ability to start living again, to start being yourself, to start finding your next path, your next journey, to just start focusing on other things. Yeah, it's really lovely. And then we have this, which I feel like, again, like I'm getting heart chakra vibes with the, like, heart here, like the eye, there's like an eye in the Knight of Cups heart, which is crying blood, which I'm sorry if that's kind of gross, but whatever. And there's like that lotus flower growing out of it. And like, yeah, it's like there's so much growth and compassion, heart-centered energy, and this really exemplifies that. And I'm getting just like self-love here. And we have, "Maybe if you want things to change, you should start in yourself." From All the Crooked Saints, also by Maggie Stiefvater. Different book, but same author. So Maggie Stiefvater could be significant for you as well. And I'm getting the sense that All the Crooked Saints could be a good book for you, if you want to check that out if you haven't read it. But maybe if you want things to change, you should start in yourself. Yeah, but I feel like that's why this is falling into place, because you've realized that and you've made the changes, or you've been on that journey of change. And I feel like this is a lesson you've already learned, and you are putting it into practice, and you are realizing that it is changing everything. I'm also getting like tying that message with this one about today's the day I stop listening to the future and start living it instead, is like I'm getting like someone who like listens to like tarot card readings or psychics and it's always about like, oh, this will happen in the future, you will this, you will that, and you're like, I want that now. Like, how do I start living that future that I want now? Or if you have a vision of like, oh, well, like one day I'll have the perfect relationship, one day I'll be a better person, one day I'll be with the person I want to be with, one day I'll be in the future I want to be in. And it's like you are learning how to be that person now. Like you've become that person. You're learning how to choose that. And I feel like in this conflict resolution situation, it's like you are resolving this conflict by choosing to be the person that you want to be. And that might have required you to let go of old attachments, old ways of thinking that were more like maybe black and white, conflict centric, just like prideful in a way that was not aligned with the person that you want to be, and also the way that you want to be treated, the way that you want to treat other people and things like that, like the way you want to see the world and experience the world. You're like, you wanted to bring more compassion and love to a situation and empathy, and you're finding a way to do that in a way that is fully satisfying to you and the future that you want to live in and the person you want to be, in a way that feels like, it doesn't feel like either they win or I win, or either I stand up for myself or I'm a doormat. It's like, no, like there are ways that you can bring compassion into this situation, no matter what the outcome is, no matter what action you end up needing to take in order to end it, or no matter like how you've chosen to express yourself. I feel like you found a way to incorporate that love and compassion that is both extended towards the external situation and anyone else involved, and also towards yourself at the same time, so that it can be the most satisfying conclusion for you, but it also brings you into like this future version of yourself that you always wanted to be, and this world that you always wanted to see and live in, where conflicts can be resolved in this way, right? I'm getting like, if someone maybe didn't have like really peaceful conflict resolution modeled to them, didn't see like, saw a lot of fights and arguments going on that never were resolved or weren't resolved in a way that were satisfying to you, where you were like, well, I feel like there's got to be a better way, there's got to be another way to go about it. It's like you are becoming that way, you are finding that way, you are being that person that you always wanted to see. You're being the change you want to see. And it's really cool. And it's like, this is falling into place for you, like in whatever specific situation is being referenced here, because I feel like it's also meant to show you that, like, it's meant to be a really clear example of you have become that person. You have the capability of living in that world where conflicts are resolved in this peaceful way, or this way that involves compassion and love. Like, you have that capacity, and you are able to practice it, and you could feel good about that and feel confident in your ability to be the change you want to see, to bring what's in your heart out into your experience and to practice it. And it might have been difficult, but I feel like you're starting to realize that it's become who you are. And that's why this is falling into place for you now. Because I feel like it has greater implications in your life outside of this specific situation that it's about. It has greater implications for the potential of your future and for living the future that you wanted to always live in now, which is really cool. And I would love to personally know how that resonates for you. Like, what is this vision that you've had, that you're seeing grounded in your life, that you're seeing that you've become, like, that you've grown into? If you're willing to share, I'd be really interested to know. Because this is a really cool, honestly, all the messages today have been really cool. I really enjoyed this reading. I hope you did too. But I think that's all we've got for you, Group 3. So I do hope you enjoyed this. Please do share in the comments below if you feel comfortable doing so. Like, subscribe, the whole thing. I would love to hear from you. And if you're interested in personal readings, we offer them on our website, sunflowerphilosophy.com. I work with my mom, and we're both certified consulting hypnotists, and she also does human design. So if you want to check out any of that, again, on our website. And that's it. Thank you so much for watching. Have a wonderful life, and I will see you in another reading again sometime very soon. Bye!